If you're looking for the best keyword tool, we're going to be comparing Ubersuggest versus Mangools versus Emberseo. So let's go ahead and take a look at these and compare them. So Ubersuggest is the tool created by Neil Patel. And Neil Patel, he's an SEO, very well known as an SEO, and he bought this tool, Ubersuggest, like a while back, and then he embedded it within the Neil Patel website, which was actually a pretty smart idea. I have a purchased plan. I bought a lifetime plan. Unfortunately, as I've been using it throughout the years, it's definitely not as good as it could be. You could see here, I have 200 credits left because I don't use the tool. Unfortunately, Mangools I've used for a very long time, maybe about 2 years, and it was a pretty decent tool, to be honest with you. Until I just stopped using it because I've been using Emberseo. And what I typically look for is I look for a little bit more lengthy keyword results, and I'll just kind of show you what I mean. So when I search for the keyword best keyword tool on Emberseo, I get a total of 443 keywords found. On Ubersuggest, I'll just show you here, for example. We'll do some keyword research, but we can look at, for example, like all these different. I mean, one of the things that makes Ubersuggest kind of nice is that it does like domain tracking, but to be honest, it's not necessarily needed because that's what your Google Search Console will do for you. So, it's kind of like, what's the point? But whatever. I'm not going to sit here and badmouth them. But if you look here, I searched best keyword tool, and you can see here we get 72 total autocompletes, which is like, okay, but I wouldn't want to pay for a software tool to just give me what's auto-completed on Google. I could literally type that in on Google, but that's what it is. Not necessarily the best, to be honest. I've noticed it degraded in value over time. And then here, if we do the same thing for Mangools, we don't get too many results. 15 results. Of course, we can unlock more and pay, but their cost is $61 a month for their tool. So as a reference, Emberseo costs $9.99 per month, and it's just a lot more superior with how it functions. So let me show you what I mean. And by the way, Ubersuggest, you can pay monthly as well. I mean, if we click on plans and pricing, let's just go ahead and click here on this link. We can see the plans. It costs $29 a month, so 3 times more than Emberseo. Mangools is the most expensive at $61 a month, and Emberseo is $9.99 a month. So this tool is $9.99. I'm going to leave my link in the description for this tool. It's an affiliate link, but I'm just going to show you what it does. So here we have all the keywords, of course, the volume, the SEO score, the traffic, the buyer intent, the competition level, and the trend, as in, how much it's growing month to month, and the CPC. As an SEO, of course, you're going to want to have a keyword that has positive trend over time, which just means that it's going to get more attention over time because buyer intent intent is increasing over time. Now, whether it's buyer intent, which is transaction intent, or informational intent, or commentating intent, or commercial intent, those are things that you want to look into for each keyword. And of course, you want to look at the analytics. So for a keyword like this, for example, it says SEO rank tracking tools. It gets 1,225. It gets 4,400 searches a month, but the estimated traffic that you'd get from that is 1,225. And sometimes keywords like this don't really benefit you. It just depends on your business and your setup, right? You have to look at your authority, your authoritativeness, all these kind of things of your article that you have to pay attention to. But picking the right keyword is an art. And unfortunately, like I said, when I go through like Ubersuggest or a current day's Ubersuggest, there's not much I could do here. I hate to say it, but there's not really I hate to say it, but there's not much I can do here. It's just not as good. And that's just my personal opinion as an SEO. For Mangools, like I said, I think that they offer pretty much the same things that an Ember SEO offers, but I just find it to be overpriced. Like, you can get the same information from an Ember SEO, and it's much cheaper, and you can get more of that information. So I can scroll through here for years by the time I actually, go through the actual full list. But they'll find you adjacent keywords, they'll find you all kinds of keywords, and it makes sense because that's how they're able to get 443 keywords that are related to the keyword best keyword tool. So for me, it's not really much of a competition. You guys see it. I have an Ubersuggest payment plan. Not payment plan, but I pay for their active membership, right? Which I paid the lifetime plan. And you could see I don't even use it. Like, at this point in time, it's just, there's no point. And like I said, Mangools, for me, to pay for almost the exact same product at $61 a month, it just doesn't make sense. There was a time where they used to charge $25 a month for their tool, and I used to use it then. But after they switched their pricing about like a year and a half ago, I had to look into something different. So $9.99 for this tool is pretty cheap, but aside from the pricing, I pay attention more to the functionality. I pay attention to the search volume. I pay attention to the estimated traffic, to the CPCs if I choose to do advertising for a certain blog. And for reference, people, I used to have many blogs, like SEO blogs. I sold most of them, and without finding the right keywords, there was no way I was going to succeed. I tend to focus a little bit more on finding those lower competition to medium competition keywords so I could stand out and kind of snipe those attention vehicles. But everybody has their own strategy, but this is currently what I do. And you can see here, there's really nothing else I could say. There's more tools to Ember SEO. I'm not going to go through all of them here, but hopefully if you enjoyed this video, you could see some of my other videos around those other tools. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Peace out. Bye.